I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. We are just moments away from kickoff, and we've got a good one on tap between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Seattle Seahawks. With that, let's get up to Seattle. Standing by at CenturyLink Field, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. These folks love their football in Seattle. This was the scene a moment ago as the home squad came out of the tunnel, and it was just absolutely deafening in this building. They're set for football, so are we, as the Seahawks get set to match up with the Cincinnati Bengals. Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden, and as we look at this matchup, every time there's something different to focus on. So I'll just ask you, what do you see here in this one?
Well, Rembrandt, you've given me a pretty blank canvas to focus on, haven't you?
Yeah.
Where do you think I'm going to go with this?
Oh, secondary?
You know me well, right? In a game like this, it's always about the secondary. Can they handle the passing attack and make a few plays?
Here's Randy Bullock now to put toe to leather, and off we go from Seattle. It's a very short kick taken by an up man. And they'll be set up with good field position here as he gets this up over the 40-yard line. Quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson, coming out here. And while the MVP award looks like it will be Lamar Jackson's, not Russell Wilson's, he had a heck of a season. Over 4,000 yards for the third time, 31 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions. And CD, while we saw the emergence of DK Metcalf late in the year, does Russell Wilson need more surrounding him firepower-wise offensively?
They certainly do, and I think the Seattle will work to get that. And if you're looking at the receiver position and you're looking at the draft, it's a really deep wide receiver class of 2020. So they'll have opportunities there. I think they'll just continue to fortify. They're going to want to get their running backs back. They had a couple that got dinged at the end of the year, and Chris Carson and Rashad Penny. But they get back to being Seattle that way, running the heck out of it and throwing to those big wide receivers. They feel pretty good about what Dangerous can give them at the quarterback position. And how about what he did at the Pro Bowl?
Oh, that was neat.
That, right?
Yeah.
He was voted this.
And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Chris Carson, 38 yards, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
Myers connects on the PAT, and it's now a 7-0 game. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And the long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. Dalton now, the pass. Now he's hit, and Dalton lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up, and they bring this one back. It's a fumble recovery and a Seattle touchdown. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
The extra point now coming from Myers. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive, and suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction.
There's not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You've just got to regroup and start putting another drive together. That's all you can do.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5.
Set the tone, defense. Let's go.
After the penalty, it's Mixon. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. As Seattle jogs back on the field here, you can't help but think with their season that the old cliche, the game of inches, comes into play for the 2019 Seahawks because Week 17, that game against the 49ers, Jacob Hollister tackled inches from the goal line, maybe a half a yard. That really changed everything, didn't it?
It certainly did, because if Hollister scores and Seattle wins, they end up getting the open week and getting that little extra rest in the playoffs, and San Francisco goes to Philadelphia to play. And in my mind, San Francisco beats Philadelphia but doesn't advance to the Super Bowl. They needed the break as well as Seattle. Seattle went to Philadelphia, had a tough one there, and then got beat at Green Bay in the very next round. So you're exactly right. To me, in my mind, that little bit of space changed everything for them. And by the way, Jacob Hollister did everything correct on that play. The ball was in the correct arm, because everybody said, well, if he had in the other arm, he would have scored. But that's not how you hold it in that situation. It was just a terrific tackle by Dre Greenlaw that changed the fortunes for both of those teams.
And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. On 2nd down, it's Carson. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Chris Carson with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Boy, these guys are off to the races, Charles. 20-0 already, extra point pending.
Yeah, you always hear that term. They just boat race someone. Heck, it's car race, motorcycle race, plane race, whatever you want. Right now, they are sprinting past them.
Now Myers for the extra point. It's good, and before you know it, it's 21-0. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it was all capped off by the Chris Carson touchdown run. After the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Cincinnati getting the football back here, and as a broadcaster, I guess it's my solemn duty to say that cliched line that everyone's been saying. The Cincinnati Bengals, CD, as we head to the offseason, they are on the clock. Record-wise, worst in the NFL, 2-14. But, hey, if it was Andy Dalton's last game in Cincinnati, Week 17, he did get the victory over in-state rival Cleveland to get him that second win of the year.
And what a great win for him because of all he's meant to that franchise. You remember when he took over there, expectations were low. Got to the playoffs his first year. You know, he and A.J. Green hooking up for big plays, and he's been a terrific quarterback for them for a long time. The team is now
under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack. Ziggy Ansah. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Just 21 yards on the punt there.
Let's go!
They'll run on 1st down. Carson just bowling over tacklers. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Still going. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 15, 1st down Seahawks. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating him up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
Now it's Carson. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. Now he's got his target. That's Moore. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. David Moore, 28 yards. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it's stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
The extra point now coming from Myers. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going, and still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down.
368.
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave them with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Dalton here from the gun. Under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack. Unable to stop KJ right there as he slips by for the sack.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. It'll be just an 18-yard punt, and it'll be Seahawk football 1st and 10. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll start out on the ground with Carson. And he's got room. Accelerating, and off he goes. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Chris Carson doing it again with his 3rd touchdown here in the opening quarter as his guys continue to pour it on. He's been having a great game, and that one right there, his best run so far, and it ends with 6 points.
And not only that, in his mind, what is he thinking? Can I get to 200 yards as well? Because he knows he's closing in on it. He may not know the exact number, but the best runners have a feel of what the yardage is that they're compiling, and he knows that he's getting close to that 200-yard mark now.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And the route is on here in this 1st half.